love to help real people with real questions fix real problems, which is what I'm doing today. If you have questions you would like me to answer, please email me at support@rickolderman.com and I'll do my best to get to those and make a YouTube video. Also, just to let you know, I have a new book coming out in the fall of 2024 called Pain Patterns, Why You Are Having Pain and How to Stop It. And if you want to mention that you'd like to be put on a list for that book to be notified when it comes out, just mention that in that video too. All right, today's question is from Diana, and she asks, help with foot supination and foot and ankle tightness. All right, I think this is an interesting question because not many people have supination, and which leads me to wonder whether it's true supination or not. So what is foot supination? So when our foot is flat, that is called foot pronation, and when the arch is very high, that's called foot supination. Now, most problems that are occurring in the foot and ankle and lower leg system are due to foot pronation, the opposite of foot supination. What I have found, though, is that one of the causes of supination in the foot is actually the shape of the thigh bone that has gone undiagnosed. And so if our thigh bone is rotated outward, all right, which is called femoral retroversion, and we walk with our foot pointed forward, the force of the thigh bone trying to rotate itself outward helps lift the arch of the foot, causing an artificial supination of that foot. You can test whether you have femoral retroversion or its opposite, which is femoral anteversion, in this video here. And then based on that test, you can either watch the video for femoral retroversion or femoral anteversion to understand what to do in the presence of these two very common structural anomalies. Okay? I wouldn't even call them anomalies. They're just basically how everyone's built. Almost everyone is on a spectrum of femoral anteversion through femoral retroversion. So it's not really an anomaly, it's just architecture. All right, so let's say you do not have femoral retroversion contributing to your supination. Well, then my next question, I guess, Diana, would be, have you had old ankle sprains and so forth? Most ankle sprains occur from the ankle rolling out. That's called an inversion sprain, where the ankle goes through inversion, which rolls out. And typically that leads to damage to the ligaments on the outside of the ankle, or such as tears, sprains, things like that. When you hear of people getting ankle sprains, usually it's an inversion sprain, and often there is tissue damage done to the ankle as a result of that sprain, especially if that sprain has occurred frequently. So Diana, if you haven't been checked out by a doctor about this and had x-rays of your foot and ankle, that would be the first thing I would recommend, is to make sure that we're not actually dealing with structural problems in the ankle contributing to this tightness that you're speaking about. All right, now let's assume that's not happening. So the next thing I would look at, if I were you, is to test whether your calf and soleus muscles are tight in your foot and ankle system. And for that, I've made this video about plantar fasciitis that shows you a test on how to do that. Basically, if the calf and soleus muscles are tight, then as we're passing over the foot, excessive force is driven down into the foot that then causes strain to the foot tissues or ankle tissues. So that would be the next step, is to determine, well, is some of this tightness due to muscular tightness, or is it a joint problem? And so that calf and soleus test will help you identify whether you have muscle tightness associated with this as well. In that video about plantar fasciitis, I show you a natural way that takes no time, it's actually a habit correction, to restore proper foot and ankle range of motion of those calf and soleus muscles. That may solve your problem as well. This actually may be a sleeping issue, and the recommendation I make in that video shows you why I think that and how to solve that. All right, so I just want to relate another problem is that often, I wouldn't say it's very common, but it sometimes happens that there's undiagnosed bone chips or spurs in the ankle that have been missed by radiologists in the past. And sometimes it depends on different views of the foot and ankle whether you have those bone chips. I'm going to take a moment here to please ask you to subscribe, like, and click the notification button so you can be notified of future videos I drop on my channel to help you. Thanks. I once had a patient with many years of ankle problems, and we worked really hard and solved everything that we could, but something kept blocking her ankle range of motion, and she had already had x-rays and MRIs. And finally I said, could you please go back and have this particular angle of your foot looked at? And when they did, they found a bone chip the size of the tip of her pinky that did not show up on any of the x-rays or MRIs that she had taken years, over the years of her foot and ankle. And once they removed that, it was like removing, a splinter. Suddenly her foot and ankle could work much, much better. So sometimes multiple angles is really what you need to identify. And so the foot would need to be in different positions, for instance, plantar flexed or dorsiflexed, to see what's going on if there's something obstructing that range of motion for you. All right, so what we've talked about here, Diana, is it's possible that you have undiagnosed femoral retroversion that's contributing to the supination of your foot. And you can watch this video to test that in you. It could be that you have, in addition to that or instead of that, you have tight calf and soleus muscles, in which case you can test that in this video about plantar fasciitis, and then I'll show you a way to correct that tightness naturally that doesn't take any time out of your day. And so those would be the two recommendations I would follow to see if there's more of a systemic reason causing the foot supination to artificially occur, and or the stiffness in your foot and ankle. In your question, I don't know if you've had any older injuries in that foot and ankle system or in the other one, in which case you might be overloading that foot. There's all sorts of things that could be happening here. So in that situation, I recommend you watching this video about compensation patterns to see if maybe you're compensating for some older problem in your leg, in the same leg or the opposite leg. So that might be my other recommendation too, to see if this is contributing to it. I hope that helps. Again, if you have a question you would like to submit, please email me at support@rickolderman.com. And don't forget to let me know if you're interested in being notified when my Pain Patterns book comes out in the fall of 2024.